I'm about to introduce Professor Jacques Potier, who's one of the vice presidents of the IDA, but we're also very fortunate that the president of the IDA, Jean-Michel Blanquer, a very distinguished political scientist in France, will give us over video, a few words of greeting for this part of the event.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be able to give you some words for the start of this very important seminar. I'm Jean-Michel Blanquer. I'm the president of the Institut des Amériques, the Institute of the Americas. We have now quite a long relation with UCLA, thanks especially to Ephraim Cristal. I want to thank him very much for this close relationship between him and Jacques Potier, which means a relationship between the Institute of the Americas and UCLA. Today we are going to make a new step in this very good relationship, thanks to this moment and thanks to the agreement between our institutions. And I want to thank all the people that have allowed this new step. And first of all, of course, the university, the responsible of the university, the responsible of the Institute of Latin American Institute, Kevin Terraciano, because the department of Kevin Terraciano is giving us this special space for the Institute of the Americas. I want also to thank Amandine de Bricker, who is working with us in the Institute as a PhD student and has worked for this special event and this special moment for our relationship. She will have the responsibility of our new agreement and our new institutionalization with UCLA. I want also to thank the French consulate for the help they gave for this organization, and also Antonia Rigaud, who works for the French consulate. Thank you for all this work. Finally, I want to say that this signature between the UCLA and the Institute of the Americas, this signature will take place just after our discourses, is very important. It's an importance due not only to the fact that this MOU opened the way to a lot of exchange in terms of research and in terms of students' exchanges, but also because it shows that for us, the west coast of the United States, California in general, is a very special place, because our aim in the Institute of the Americas is to work on the Americas in general. That's why we pay so much attention to phenomena like the Latin American migrations in the United States, and in general to the integration between all the countries of the continent. And we all know that UCLA is excellent in this kind of topics. I think that at the end of the day, we will have, thanks to this agreement, a very special relationship between UCLA and the Institute of the Americas. I hope that some theses, some new seminars in the future, and some ways of working together will born thanks to this. So thank you again to all of you, and I wish you a very interesting seminar and symposium. Thank you very much.
So I would like to say something about the Deputy Cultural Attaché of the Consul General of France of Los Angeles, Antonia Rigaud, who works very actively in the promotion of French language and of creation of cooperation between French and American universities at both institutional, research, and academic levels. And she's eminently qualified to do this, not only because she's a seasoned diplomat, but because she's also a seasoned scholar. Antonia Rigaud, before coming to LA, was associate professor of American Studies at the Sorbonne Nouvelle. So please, I'd like to welcome her to say a few words in the context of our signing ceremony.
Very much. Dear Professor Blanquer, Professor Potier, Professor Terraciano, Professor Cristal, dear Amandine de Bricker, distinguished guests. It is a great pleasure for me to be here and to have the privilege to say a few words for the ceremony celebrating the collaboration between the Institut des Amériques and the University of California, Los Angeles. I would like to express the deep regrets of Bénédicte de Montlort, cultural counselor at the French Mission for Culture and Higher Education at the French Embassy, who cannot be with us today, but who sends her congratulations on this seminal moment for academic cooperations between France and America. The cooperation between the Institut des Amériques and UCLA testifies to the very close links that bind our two countries together. Bringing together doctoral students and academics to explore the Americas from a transdisciplinary perspective, the Institut des Amériques is at the forefront of today's research on the Americas, and its partnership with UCLA's leading scholars in the field and from across departments promises to lead to groundbreaking research projects. The priorities of the French Mission for Culture and Higher Education is to foster Franco-American collaborations and to strengthen our academic and research partnerships, and we are very happy and proud of UCLA's tight connections with France. These connections range from individual French researchers choosing UCLA for their sabbaticals, the presence of some of our compatriots as faculty, the many French postdocs working at UCLA laboratories, or at the institutional level, the many agreements that link UCLA and French universities. Among other collaborations with UCLA, the French Embassy is very happy that several research teams at UCLA have been selected over the years to participate in its Partner University Fund, the Partner University Fund grant project, which seeks to develop research in the humanities and sciences between French and American research teams. Also, many Chateaubriand Fellowships, a program of the French Embassy, are regularly awarded to UCLA graduate students. Finally, the French Embassy's long-standing partnership with UCLA is also symbolized by the Center for Excellence, a research program housed in the Department of French and Francophone Studies, but open to all humanities departments throughout the campus, and which fosters interdisciplinary and innovative research programs between our two countries. But these partnerships have found a deep expression during this academic year, which will have been marked by two key moments in terms of collaborations between UCLA and France. The inauguration in the fall of a joint laboratory between UCLA and CNRS, led by Professor Éric Villain at the Institute for Society and Genetics. And today, as an elegant conclusion to this year of essential cooperations, the ceremony celebrating the collaboration between the Institut des Amériques and University of California, Los Angeles. This is a major milestone in the partnerships involving UCLA and France, which builds upon a rich and fruitful history and is creating the future of research in the study of the Americas. We look forward to accompany the many future joint projects of the Institut des Amériques and UCLA. Thank you.
Before I call on our two colleagues who will sign the agreement, I would like to make some general remarks of gratitude. I'd like to thank Amandine de Bruyker, the California representative of the IDA, for her very hard work on this project. I'd like to thank a number of other people who have been instrumental in making this happen. Olivia Diaz, Asiro Cham, David Araiza, Vanessa Carrillo. So I thank them very much for their crucial participation in this project. I would like now to introduce our main signatories and ask them each to say a few words. Our first signature is Professor Jacques Potier, who teaches American literature at the Université de Versailles Saint-Quentin en Yvelines, where he was director of the research center Sud-Amériques, now merged with the Center d'Histoire culturelle des sociétés contemporaines. He is vice president of the Institut des Amériques. He has published many books and articles, including a famous book on William Faulkner, another one on Flannery O'Connor. His fields of research cover the literature of the south of the U.S., interactions between the literature and history of the South and Latin American literature, modernism, postmodernism, literature and the visual arts, the epistemology of American studies, the role of literature in the construction of ethnic, local, and national identities. And among his recent projects is in the team that is publishing the works of William Faulkner in the Pléiade edition in Gallimard. We're very lucky to have him as a friend of UCLA, and I'd like to invite him to say a few remarks.
Thank you for these kind words, Ephraim. I'm particularly happy and moved and proud to be here today to officially celebrate this cooperation between the Institute of the Americas and UCLA. A cooperation that has been going on in many ways, as Antonia Rigaud underlined a few minutes ago. So my special thanks, of course, to my friend Ephraim Cristal, who has been a devoted member of our steering committee at the Institute of the Americas from the start. And I want to thank him again for his generosity and the commitment he has had for this program and this development. I want also to underline his successful efforts to engage colleagues from many departments, institutes, and centers at UCLA in the project of our hub of cooperation. Thanks, of course, also to Amandine de Brucker, who is our special delegate for developing this hub. Thanks also for the assistance that at UCLA, like Asiro Cham and Olivia Diaz, who have also made it possible. Thanks to our sponsors, the Department of Comparative Literature and the Latin American Institute for today's symposium. And thanks also for all the members of the UCLA community that are present today and who have shown their support for our project, among whom Dr. Cindy Fan, the Vice Provost of the International Institute, of course, Kevin Terraciano, David Chaberg, the Dean of Humanities, Alessandro Duranti, the Dean of Social Sciences, and many other colleagues. Since we are concluding this roundtable and symposium, I want to say that in any dynamic research there is a dimension of challenge, and the challenge here is the wager that by confronting the research from Europeans, French people, and research by Americans, with a spirit of serendipity, we can watch for innovative approaches. And I think that the debates this afternoon are a very good example of this kind of achievement. So the memorandum of understanding that we are about to sign is one step, and we are already going beyond this step by even this roundtable, this symposium this afternoon. So we are already discussing, and we have been discussing, techniques, strategies to facilitate this cooperation, be they in publication, the circulation of scholars and faculty, joint seminars, conferences. So I'm very excited about the progress that we are undoubtedly going to make. So I'm especially happy to see the Institute of the Americas associated with the enthusiasm and creativity at UCLA, and especially under the aegis of the International Institute. And as to the French import of American studies, I hope it will go beyond what has been often referred to as French theory, with sometimes its scathing categories, and just to encourage and facilitate new ideas. Thank you.
Right, and institutionally, you know, the partner, of course, the analog to the Institute within the purview of our university would be our international institute, and in this particular case, most importantly and specifically, the Latin American Institute. And I want to give a very special gratitude to Martin van Dendel, who was the acting director of the Latin American Institute when we began the conversations for this particular symposium. And of course, the director of the Latin American Institute, who has been in the conversations in the last year and a half, and I'm delighted is a key participant in our conversations. So I would like to introduce Professor Kevin Terraciano. He's a wonderful a treasure at UCLA. He's a professor of history. As I said, he's a director of our Latin American Institute. He specializes in the early Latin American history, especially pre-conquest and colonial Mexico, and indigenous cultures, languages, and writings of central and southern Mexico. He has a very distinguished list of major publications, major awards, and he is as committed to high-level research as he is committed to high-level teaching from the undergraduate level to graduate mentoring. So I'm very happy now to introduce Kevin to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Efrain, for those kind words. And yes, I am very honored and pleased to be standing here playing a role in this very easy decision to this offer to cooperate with over 60 first-rate French universities in this system-wide study of the Americas. We are honored and pleased to participate in this agreement, and I endorse fully the theme of this institute, the promotion of the intercultural study of the Americas. And so I'm proud as the representative of the Latin American Institute to play a role considering how extremely important Latin America is in the Americas, and considering the strategic importance of Los Angeles in the Americas. And so I thank you. I have many people to thank, beginning with the president of the Institute, President Blanquer, and my colleague, Vice President, Professor Portier, whom I met about 3 years ago, and I've had some conversations in the last few days with him. And what a pleasant, intelligent colleague, what a great person to be corresponding with, to be working with, to be collaborating with. We had some excellent conversations in the last couple of days about all the types of things that we could do beyond taking this first step of signing the Memorandum of Understanding. And it's a very exciting time. And so I want to thank you for coming all this way and for signing this agreement with us. I want to thank Amandine for being such an excellent and charming ambassador for the Institute, and the French Council for supporting these efforts and so many other efforts at UCLA. I really want to thank my esteemed colleague, Efrain Cristal, here for playing a key role in driving this initiative here at UCLA over the last few years. And so I am pleased to report that Efrain will be the representative of UCLA working directly with Ida, and that we plan to form a faculty committee within the Latin American Institute to participate in this initiative. And so we have many ideas, very exciting ideas, that go well beyond this first step of signing this Memorandum of Understanding. I would also like to thank Cindy Fan, the Vice Provost of the International Institute, and for supporting this initiative, and so many of the affiliated faculty members and graduate students who are here today to lend their support to this very exciting opportunity. I've said exciting probably a dozen times now because UCLA is one of only 12 universities in the Americas to share this collaborative arrangement with the Institut of the Americas in France, based in Paris, and the only one on the West Coast. And so we are very excited and proud and thankful. And I could thank many other people, but I think I've said enough, and I think it's about time to move on and sign this agreement and go on to that reception outside. Thank you.